Get ready for a wild ride as we dive into the world of Asian stock markets and their recent moves. The bullish battle, Asian stocks versus global trade tensions. Asian shares have been on a tear, consolidating recent gains and keeping investors on the edge of their seats. The key question on everyone's mind: can this momentum sustain amidst easing global trade tensions? Tech titans take center stage. Tech stocks are leading the charge, with hopes for bumper earnings this week. The so-called Magnificent Seven, Microsoft, Alphabet, Apple, Amazon, and Meta platforms are expected to deliver strong results, justifying their stretched valuations. But here's where it gets controversial. Can these tech giants continue to dominate and drive market gains? Rate cuts and bond bulls. The likelihood of lower borrowing costs in the US and Canada has bond investors excited. The Federal Reserve's dovish outlook is expected to support bonds, but just how dovish will they be? This is the part most people miss. The Fed's rate path is unclear, and its decisions could impact the entire market. Gold's bubble bursts. Safe haven gold has been huddling around $4,000 an ounce, but a recent drop has squeezed leveraged money out. Neil Shearing, Group Chief Economist at Capital Economics, says, "What began as a price rise supported by fundamentals now looks driven by retail enthusiasm." He adds, "Our new forecast is that the price will fall to $3,500 per ounce by the end of 2026. A breather for Asian markets. Several Asian share markets have hit all-time highs and are due for a pause. The Nikkei, for example, eased 0.2%. after surging 2.5% on Monday. South Korean stocks also slipped, giving back some of Monday's gains. The Fed's quantitative tightening conundrum. There are hopes that the Fed will end its quantitative tightening QT policy, which has been a key driver of market movements. But will the Fed validate market expectations for a December easing? This is a crucial question that could impact the entire market's trajectory. Central banks in focus. While the Fed's moves are closely watched, other central banks are also making headlines. Canada's central bank is expected to cut rates this week, while the European Central Bank and the Bank of Japan are likely to hold steady. The BOJ, in particular, is debating whether to resume rate hikes as recession worries ease, but political complications may keep them on hold. Oil prices slip. In commodity markets, oil prices slipped on reports that OPEC Plus nations are leaning towards another modest increase in oil output for December. Saudi Arabia's push to reclaim market share is a key factor here. The bottom line, Asian stocks are taking a breather, but the market's focus remains on earnings and rate calls. The tech sector's performance, central bank decisions, and global trade tensions will continue to shape market movements. What do you think? Will Asian stocks continue their upward trajectory, or is a correction on the horizon? Share your thoughts in the comments.